We are going to talk about trials. I would like to define what is a trial. A trial is the act of testing the ability, quality, performance, etc. of somebody or something. I will repeat. A trial is the act of testing the ability, quality, performance, etc. of somebody or something. Another definition, I would like to define trials as trials to somebody is troublesome or irritating person or thing that one must endure. As I said that trials is something to test somebody or something. It's like when I was learning how to drive, at the end of the course, I went to the police station for trial to see the ability of driving a car. So by this trial, I was given now the driving license, and now I'm able to drive a car. So trial test your ability to do something. Test your quality. If you are qualified, even when you pass the exams, you will be given a certificate to show that you have to go to the higher level or to be employed. So trials also help the one to know the performance, how we performed on our test. And as we saw, trials also is troublesome. It's not something which is easy. It's something which is irritating. It's something which, most of the time we don't like trials, but God allowed trials that we have to overcome or to test our ability or to test our faith. If we still love the Lord, as some other servants of God passed through trials and God was with them until they overcome all the trials. If God allows trials to somebody, is to make the person to be strong in the Lord. In other words, a trial is the measurement of our faith. Trials measure our faith to know how you love God or how you stand, how you are depending on God for whatever comes to your life, how you will stand and depend on God until you pass through the trials. Jesus passed through many trials, but he overcame because he trusted the Lord. So God was with him. If we follow the ways of Jesus, we are going to overcome, as he said in the book of John, chapter 14. The book of John, chapter 14, verse 6. That is the way, truth, and life. So if we follow this way, we are going to overcome all the trials or the irritating situation we are coming across in this journey of going to heaven. Now let us look on Moses when God wanted to use Moses to deliver the children of Israel from Egypt. When God wanted to deliver the children, he used Moses. And God used a burning bush. God may use something to do whatever he likes. For Moses, he used a burning bush. And to Joseph, we call him a father of Jesus Christ, he used dream to speak to Joseph to flee to Egypt because there are some people who are looking to kill Jesus. So the Lord talked to Joseph by using dream. And to Saul, according to the book of Acts, chapter 9, verse 1 to 4, God spoke to Saul directly. He said, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? Because he was mistreating his people. He was jailing the people of God. So Jesus appeared to Saul on the way when he was going to Damascus to mistreat the church. Then Lord spoke to him directly by using words, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? Now let us read the book of Exodus. The book of Exodus, chapter 3, verse 1 to 4. I am going to read from the NIV. I hope we'll be together. Exodus chapter 3, verse 1 to 4. I will read. Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the far side of the desert and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in flames of fire from within a bush. Moses saw that though the bush was on fire, it did not burn up. So Moses thought, I will go over and see this strange sight, why the bush does not burn up. When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called him from within the bush, Moses, Moses. And Moses said, Here I am. God used a burning bush to speak to Moses. Have you ever thought why God used this burning bush? There was a reason. As I said, God can use whatever. He used dreams, he just speaks directly. But for Moses, God used the burning bush. Have you thought that why this burning bush was burning but it was not burnt up? There was a purpose. There was a reason God used this burning bush. As we read from verse 1 to 4, there are some things to learn. I have 3 things. Now I'll tell you the first one. There was a burning bush. The burning bush symbolized the trials Moses was going to encounter or to pass through when he was going to do the God's assignment. The God's assignment was to deliver the children of Israel from Egypt. Moses sometimes killed somebody in Egypt, so he flee away from Egypt because the king was looking for him to kill him. So he flee to hide himself. But the Lord appeared to him, telling him that he wants him to go to Egypt to deliver the children of Israel. So this was the first trial to Moses, knowing that he's going to be killed, because also he killed somebody there. So he was trying to resist as much as he could, but God insisted that you, Moses, you are going to deliver the children of Israel. Later on, Lord told Moses that those people who are looking for you, they are all dead. So Moses agreed to go to the Egypt to deliver the children of Israel. So this is like a burning bush. this was a trial to Moses to go somewhere where you know that you are going to be killed. So this was the first trial when he was doing the assignment which was given by the Lord. The second trial to Moses was how to cross the Red Sea while the children of Israel were blaming him, and Moses cried to the Lord because they could not pass the Red Sea. So people were crying, they are blaming, they are grumbling, until Moses cried to the Lord. Let us read the book of Exodus chapter 14. Exodus chapter 14 from verse 12 to 16. This is the second trial to Moses. Let us read from Exodus chapter 14 verse 12 to 16. I will read. Didn't we say to you in Egypt, leave us alone, let us save the Egyptians? It will have been better for us to save the Egyptians than to die in the desert. Moses answered to the people, do not be afraid, stand firm, and you will see the deliverance of the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today, you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Then the Lord said to Moses, why are you crying out to me? Tell the Israelites to move on. Raise your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea to divide the water so that the Israelites can go through the sea on dry ground. This was the second trial, although also Moses finds some trials when Pharaoh was refusing to release the children of Israel, but this one, I chose this one because it was strange, it was irritating, it was something which was strange or which made Moses to cry to the Lord. But the Lord was with Moses. Although he met this trial, Moses had faith to God. So he didn't give up, although he was crying for help. But the children of Israel was crying to Moses, they were blaming him, they were grumbling, but Moses was crying to the Lord for help, and God provided a help by enabling them to pass through the dry sea. He made a way in the sea so that the children of Israel were able to pass. The third trial to Moses, actually there are many trials, but I chose 3 to have a look on this, to see how God helped Moses, because he used the burning bush. So this resembles the trials that Moses was going to encounter. The third trial to Moses was grumbling of the children of Israel when they walked 3 days without water. Finally, they come across bitter water, but the Lord showed Moses a piece of wood and told him to throw it in the water, and the water became sweet. Can you imagine? You have a lot of people behind you. You are leading them to the promised land, and now they have no water for themselves. They have no water for their animals. Now they are blaming, they are grumbling. So, but the Lord, because he was with Moses, Lord showed him a piece of wood, and he told him to throw it in the water, so the water became sweet, so they were able to drink the water. This was just 3 trials, but now, as I said, there are 3 there are three things to learn from verse 1. Exodus chapter 3, verse 1 to 4. The first one I said was the burning bush. And the second now is the second thing we are going to learn from these 4 verses is that the burning bush was burning, the fire was burning the bush, but the bush was not consumed, it was not burned up. This resembles that although Moses he passed through many trials, but the trials didn't draw him from God. He still believed that God is going to provide answers. So he was depending on God, as God assured to him that he will be with him. So he keep on believing that the Lord will provide answers to whatever trial he is going to come across. So the second thing we are learning is that the burning bush was burning, but it was not consumed. It was not burned up. And the third thing we are going to learn from these 4 verses is that God was within the burning bush. God was within the burning bush. As we saw that Moses came across trials, but God was there to provide answers. God knew that he's going to meet challenges on their way, but the Lord was with them. So he provided answers for whatever challenge Moses was facing, and the children of Israel also. Whatever they wanted, God was there to provide answers. This we are learning by this example that whatever challenge you are going to meet on the way, it will not draw you up if you are depending on God, because the Lord is there to provide the answers. So Moses stands still, waiting for the help of the Lord, and he was able to overcome all the trials he met on the way. So I encourage you to stand still, because this journey of going to heaven, or this salvation is full of troubles, full of irritating situations and so forth. But be encouraged that the Lord will not leave us. As he was with Moses, he will be with us. In Psalms chapter 23, verse 4, the word of God says that even if I pass through the valley of shadow of death, the Lord will be with you. He will not leave you. David once so wanted to kill David. He reached a situation that he knew that the Lord is his shepherd, and he knew that the Lord will not leave him. He will be with him. That's why he said that even though he passed through the shadow of the death, the Lord will still be with him. That's why the Lord helped him, so Saul couldn't kill him. But because David was trusting the Lord was with him for all the troubles he was coming across in his life. To wind up, Luke chapter 18, 8b. However, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on the earth? Jesus asked this question, that when he comes, will he find faith in the world? Will you find faith in me? Will you find faith in you? Because we are overcoming by faith, because we are trusting the Lord, and the Lord will be with us. But he was asking that, will you find faith on the earth when he comes? Jesus most of the time tells people that your faith have healed you. And now Jesus is asking us, church, when he comes, will he find faith in us? Sometimes the disciples asked Jesus to increase their faith. So, even we as a church, as the believers, we have to ask Jesus to increase our faith so that we can overcome the trials, we can overcome this world, because those who are born in Jesus, in Lord, will overcome whatever situation, because the Lord will never leave us away. He will be with us until the end of the time. So it is time for us to pray that, Lord, to increase our faith, because trials are there as a measurement of our faith. So we have to pray and believe that Jesus will be with us until the end of the day, of the days as we live. So I would like to call our pastor to pray for us, or to lead us in the prayer for the Lord to increase our faith, because we want to overcome, we want to stand still, we want to leave all the troubles to the Lord, for him to fight for us as he did for Moses, and as he said to Joshua, that as he was with Moses, he will be with Joshua. So church, today, as Lord was with Moses, he will be with us. So what we need is to believe, is to trust the Lord, is to wait upon his promises, and wait for him to overcome for us.